What he didn't know was that God was preparing him for a time when he would be in a similar situation, much worse. And yet, God would be there to rescue him no matter what. You see, oftentimes we forget that one crisis in our life is oftentimes preparation for enabling us to go through something worse. And the truth is, if you'll think about it, how do we grow? We grow in the Christian life by facing one trial after the other, one heartache, one hardship. And oftentimes, if you'll think about it, we don't think it's fair, but God does. That it seems that, well, if I survive this one, why should this one be so much more difficult? And if I survive this one, God, it ought to get easier and easier. How many of you have asked, you don't have to tell me, how many of you have said to God, why doesn't it get easier somewhere along the way? Because what makes us grow is the testing and the trial. And you see, the greater the test, the greater the trial, it's like we just keep pushing and pushing, or he does, and we just grow up and up and up, and we don't like it, but at the same time, something good's going on. So now he's thrown in the pit. So his brother comes along and says, no, it's no way we're going to kill him. Let's sell him to these caravans that are going by. And so they decide to sell him as a slave into Egypt. So this was another crisis. Here he is going further and further away from his family in Canaan. He's going to be sold as a slave. That means he's a nobody. That he's absolutely useless, and that he'll be lost in a civilization that was absolutely foreign, totally foreign to them. So think about it. He could have fought against his captors. He could have gotten very belligerent and blaming them and wondering where God was, or take the opportunity. I'm going to Egypt. I'm going to learn what Egypt's about. If I'm a slave, I'm going to learn their language. I'm going to learn their ways. I'm going to learn how they operate. That is, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. Somehow, in some way, God's going to work me out of this, which was also preparation for another event that was coming in his life. So when he gets to Egypt, they put him on the block to sell him. And of all the people that would buy him would be the man who is the chief bodyguard. He's captain of the bodyguard of Pharaoh himself. And so he purchases Joseph and puts him in his household. But you see, he's already been learning a little bit as he's coming along. And now he could see himself as a slave, or he could see himself with a tremendous opportunity. He could learn the language of the Egyptians. He could learn how the upper class in Egypt operate and live. He could learn about their wealth. He could learn